Hello, everybody. So I was taking the census, and it asked the question was, "What race are you?" And um, I guess there's two options. In a way, there's two options, but you can look at it the way you want. So option one is to label yourself the races your ancestors are. So for me, my ancestors, they're indigenous and they're European. So um you could circle white and American Indian, or whatever you call it, Indian, um, as those two. Or what I prefer to do is to choose some other race. So on the sentence, um, on the census, I choose some other race. I don't choose between none of those, just because I'm not white and I don't, I am indigenous, but and I have my own. We have our own like our own how do you call it? Our own like society and stuff, like group, whatever you want to call it. And we're Nawa, but I don't. I still, like I'm like 50% Nawa because my mom's mixed, so I don't really, you know, really consider. I don't really like accept it as it is, so I just don't really say that I'm Nawa. I know that I am, and I know that my family is, but I don't speak the language. I don't practice traditions, so I just consider myself some other race. Um, so I think I've been doing it for a long time. So if you're confused what race to put, my suggestion is to always put some other race, and always, if you don't know, put unknown. The way I know what race I am is because I took a DNA test, and it told me like how much percentage my mom is and my dad, and based on like my father's culture and my mom's culture, I pinpoint this and that. So I know that my mom's mixed, and I know that my dad is not mixed, and I know that they speak their own language, and I know that my mom doesn't speak her own language; she speaks a foreign language. So um, that's how I know. But if you're wondering what to put on your SATs, especially if you're like Hispanic, Latino, um, because Hispanic and Latino is not a race, so a lot of people don't know what race they are because I don't know. I think in a lot of Latin American countries, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think like um they don't really do race anymore, like as service and stuff. Like um I know they do it to an extent, right? Because how are you gonna know if you're indigenous in like South America or North America, like in Latin America? How are you gonna know if you're indigenous if you don't do these type of? But that's another story. But yeah. So I always put some other race, and I just put I leave it like that, or I just put some other race and I put Nawa. So I put Nawa, some other race, or Nawa, or I just most of the time it doesn't really tell you. Like you just put other, so you don't have to put like unknown. Um, because a lot of like I know that a lot of Hispanics and Latino don't know their race. It's hard to tell your race because a lot of people have been mixing, or um they don't really talk about it in their families, just because it depends on where you're from. Like um it wasn't registered, like, or talked about, because they don't really teach it anymore, or I don't know if they ever taught it. But I know that a lot of people, like my mom, she doesn't know what race she is. If you ask her what race you are, she's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" She's not gonna know what race she is, even though she's mixed with indigenous and European. She's still not gonna say she's European or or indigenous. She's not gonna label herself as that. Um, I don't know if that's in other countries, but in Mexico, that's how it is. Like you don't label yourself like European or indigenous. You like race doesn't really exist like in Mexico like that. Like where you're told what race you are. So I don't know. I guess my family has been mixing for many generations because my mom's mixed, her dad is mixed, her mom is mixed. So it's not like like we have like I have a grandparent that's European or I have a grandparent that's indigenous. They're mixed. So I come from a family that's mixed, and yeah. So I don't know how to title this video, but I'm titled it "What race you should put on the census, SAT, and whatever." Um, but tell me, guys, what do you guys label yourself? Because it's kind of confusing. Like it's awkward. Like I should do. Well, I'm gonna do a story time. I remember the first time. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but um, when I was in fifth grade, um, it told me I was taking a quit like a essay like government exam. I don't know. It was a school exam, but it was like one that the government requires you to take. So I was like, I was reading it, and like one of the first questions before the test started was, "What race are you?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was crying. Like I was like, just like I haven't even started the test, and I already failed. I was like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do?" And I was telling people, "What? I don't know what race I am. I don't know." And there, I remember there was this this like Hispanic girl. She was like light skinned, um, and she spoke Spanish, and she was like, if your parents speak Spanish, then you're Hispanic. And then she was like, I was like, oh, okay, so my mom speaks Spanish. So I was like, I guess I'm Hispanic. So, um, but yeah, I didn't know like because my parents never talked to me about race. So I didn't know that I was like anything like Hispanic. I was like, what am I? And I was like so confused, and I was so sad that I did not know my race. I got really sad. I remember that day. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how can I not know this answer? Like, this was never taught to me. Like, I'm already failing. But yeah, I thought that was something funny that happened to me. I don't know if it's ever happened to anyone. Like when you realize what race you were. I don't know. Like, do people like for me? It was a shock to realize what race I was or what I had to identify as. Um, so I don't know how it is for other people, like finding out their race was just like whatever, or it seemed interesting or shocking or I don't know. Yeah. Um, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hang up.